Justin Allegri with you. Very happy to have you along. Welcome to Walt McPherson Court tonight. Second meeting of the year between San Jose State and the Boise State Broncos. San Jose State trying to shake a 5-game losing slide. Well, the Broncos hoping to bounce back after their loss at home that snapped an 11-game winning streak they had inside their arena. And that was to the hands of the fourth best team in the country, San Diego State. Implications for the Mountain West Conference tournament on the line as Boise State trying to hang on to the 5th spot in that first round bye in the conference tournament. And they need to keep on winning here down the stretch in order to secure that for themselves at the end of the season. It's time now for the starting lineups presented by the showroom at Rubenstein Supply. First for the visiting Boise State Broncos at 17-10 overall, 9-6 in Mountain West Conference play. Under 10th season head coach Leon Rice. He's been doing it a while, and he's been doing a fabulous job up in Boise over the last decade for the Broncos. His starting lineup will go as follows. It's a 4-guard starting lineup. Starting point guard will be the 6'1" senior from Norman, Oklahoma. 4 points per game for Marcus Dickinson. Dickinson making his 18th start of the season. Ray J. Dennis will be the starting 2-guard, a freshman from Oswego, Illinois. 4 points per game for him as well, and he is making his 12th start of the season. In fact, he was inserted into the starting lineup in the early part of January, has not been taken out since then. So Dennis, the starting 2-guard. Starting 3-guard will be Chase Berry. It is Abu Kijab instead, Chase Berry. For some reason, they had the number 22 on the roster. Maybe it is Chase Berry. I doubt it is. Abu Kijab is on the floor right now, but the starting lineups on our stat sheet indicates Chase Berry, who's only played 5 games this year. So I would imagine Kijab is the guy. I'm going to go with that for now. Kijab is averaging 11.5 points per game this year, so he has been the primary starter ever since he was eligible to come onto the team. He is making his 15th start of the season this year. The 4th and final guard will be Justinian Jessup, 6'7", 200-pound senior from Longmont, Colorado. 16 points per game, 82 threes made this year for Jessup. And the only big listed on the roster, R.J. Williams, 6'7", senior from Los Angeles, California. He will make the start for Boise State. So either the starting lineups are wrong or Derek Alston's going to come off the bench. I doubt he will, but that's what we've been given here tonight. And Derek Alston has started every game this year. So unless something changes, that's the starting lineup that has been provided here courtside tonight. So those are the starting 5 for the Broncos: Dickinson, Jessup, Dennis, Williams, and Kijab here this evening. For San Jose State, 7-19 overall this year, 3-11 in Mountain West Conference play for the Spartans. The starting lineup announced by third-season head coach Jean Prilo. Will Kimball, Julius Hodge, and Tim Marion, the staff for San Jose State. The Spartans with a 5-guard starting lineup for the first time this season. Led by Bray Ivy, 6'2" point guard, and the senior from Huntington Beach, 9 points per game for Bray. Leading 3-point shooter this year for San Jose State. He's made 49 of them this year. Starting 2-guard will be Kason Hammonds in this lineup. 6'4" sophomore from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, making his 3rd consecutive start in a Spartan uniform. 4 points per game for Kason Hammonds. Starting 3-guard will be Seneca Knight, the leading scorer on the team, the sophomore from Lafayette, Louisiana. 16 points per game for Seneca Knight. He's also the leading rebounder on the squad, 6 rebounds per game. Starting 4 in this formation, the largest player the Spartans roll out in this lineup is a 6'6" player. So Omari Moore will be the 4th position in this game at 6'6", 185, and the true freshman from Pasadena, California. 4 points per game, 2 rebounds per game for Omari Moore. Richard Washington will be the final starter, and he is the final guard in this lineup. Richard Washington averaging 10 points per game and making his 3rd consecutive start as well, and just as many starts this year for Richard Washington. So the 5-guard starting lineup: Washington, Hammonds, Knight, Moore, and Ivy. And again, the Spartans have not gone with this 5-guard formation as a starting combination at all this year. And in fact, for the first time this season, they went with a 4-guard starting combination, and that was the last time out against the Air Force Academy Falcons. Spartans shifted to the 5-guard lineup in that game and nearly came from behind, down by as many as 20 that night. Ended up making it a 6-point game at its closest in the second half and fell to the Air Force Academy Falcons. Those were the starting lineups presented by the Showroom at Rubenstein Supply. The Showroom at Rubenstein's, the ultimate kitchen and bath showroom. San Jose State's making their way onto the floor in their white home uniforms with the blue trim down the side. Boise State huddled around their head coach, Leon Rice, over to our right. Just about ready for basketball action here tonight from Provident Credit Union Event Center. Officials for tonight's game: Mike Cyphers, Bo Borowski, and Marcus Pettigrew for this game. And those officials, I know the starting lineup is right. I doubt what we were handed for Boise State is correct. Because Derek Alston is coming onto the floor, and you know what? You had to think he was. For some reason, that was not reflected in the starting lineup given here in-house. But why not play your starting big and your best scorer this year? At any rate, Alston's on the floor, making his 28th start of the season. Not the 5 we were given. So he'll be jumping center. R.J. Williams will jump center against Christian Anigwe of San Jose State. And we are underway from Walt McPherson Court. The opening tip-off won by Boise State. They'll travel from right to left in the black uniforms. Key-Jab takes it in between the circles for the first possession for Boise State. The Broncos have it around the perimeter to the right side for Derek Alston, now rising and pump faking for a moment was Jessup. Tried to put it on the floor, lobs down low to Williams, turns on his right shoulder, gets a shot up over the top of the cylinder, never went and touched the rim, and the rebound taken away by San Jose State as Seneca Knight tries to work across the floor to the right side. Bray Ivy now to his left. Dribble handoff for Washington. Washington weaves around to the right side. There's Kaysen Hammonds taking it back. Bumped for a moment was Seneca Knight. He'll hold at midcourt. 12 seconds to shoot. Lob back between the circles for Anigwe. Fires left for Kaysen Hammonds. Puts it on the floor. Looks to bounce the pass down low and dribble it off of his foot. Perhaps it's knocked out of play and it's a turnover for San Jose State. First possession, no points for either team. And the Broncos will bring it up. They want to run with it very quickly here. And bursting across the timeline was Dennis. Dennis lobs left for Key-Jab. Up top, around for Williams. Now back to Dennis, who holds closely. And we've got a foul away from the basketball. It's called against the physicality from Kaysen Hammonds. His first personal and the first team foul in this half. It'll be 20 seconds on the shot clock for Boise State. They'll inbound with Justinian Jessup. Well, in the first couple of starts from Kaysen Hammonds, he has had some foul trouble. So an early one here for Kaysen. Now a throw to the right side. Derek Alston puts it on the floor, drives baseline on a two-handed dunk. Derek Alston with that backdoor feed, and the 6'9" player able to rise above the rest and put it down. 2-0 Broncos with the lead. Seneca Knight on the left side. Angle. Dribbles once. Two-handed chest pass back to Hammonds. Now around for Bray Ivy. Left-hand dribble. Throws left for Richard Washington. Up top for Kaysen again. Right-hand dribble. Nowhere to go. Cut off defensively at the free throw line. Looks to reverse it out for Richard Washington. Flags it down. Fires up a three. Knocks it through from the right corner. Richard Washington, that's when he's at his best. When he catches and shoots, doesn't really think. He's at his best from beyond the arc. And now the Broncos with an errant pass into the Spartan bench area. And a turnover for Boise State, their first of the game. Spartans lead 3-2. Well, we talked about it on the pregame show. The importance of hitting early three-point baskets against Boise State. And so far, the first shot the Spartans take from distance falls through. Now Bray Ivy popping off the screen. Deep two, just a bit too strong, and Alston the rebound. And on the box out, it is Richard Washington committing the foul. Washington saying, well, Justinian Jessup bumped me into Derek Alston. And I think he was sarcastically saying that. Jessup didn't laugh, and Richard was. Jessup, he is just going about his business. Here is the inbound now from Seneca Knight. Gets it in between the circles, takes it right side with a right-hand dribble. Stops at the elbow, fades the jumper away from 16 feet, no good, off the back iron, and grabbed on the rebound by Dennis. Wants to run with it, out to Alston. Thought about the three, pulled it back down, now lobs underneath for Williams. One dribble with a left hand, jump step into the lane, right to the cup, and he finishes. That was a strong move from R.J. Williams, and that's what he does down low. Doesn't shoot the three ball, but he uses that 6'7", 215-pound frame to get to the rim. 4-3, Broncos with the advantage. Now it's Kason Hammonds sending a three up, but it's short, rebounded by Dennis. Again, he leads the charge out to Jessup, trailing his key jab. Thought about the three, drives in after the up fake. Right-handed runner is no good, and it's rebounded by the Spartans for Richard Washington. Stops on a dime on the left side wing, tries to work along the baseline, throws outside, and it's intercepted and stolen by the Broncos. Long right hand from Derek Alston, got it up to key jab. Leaves it back for the trailing Alston. He drives down the right side of the lane. High shot off glass, falls. Derek Alston did everything on that possession, developed the steal, and got the basket on the other end. Spartans trying to attack quickly. Now it's Kason Hammonds with a scoop to the hoop, and Alston was there for the block this time. So steal, score, block. Doing it all right in that sequence for Derek Alston and Boise State. 6-3, Broncos advantage. 16:46 on the first half clock. Spartans will inbound after that block shot. Bray Ivy, the trigger man, baseline left. Lobs it into Anigwe, turns over his shoulder to collect it. Now it's Seneca Knight crossing his dribble over, backing away from his defender. 15 seconds to shoot. Round a screen from Anigwe into the corner. Bray Ivy catch and shoot three. He's fouled. Shot did not go down, but Bray Ivy will go to the free throw line for not one, not two, but 3 free throws. And Bray, there was a time this year that Bray Ivy was not getting to the free throw line. First 9 games of the year, and it's a number that you kind of have to shake your head at. Bray Ivy had only taken 3 attempts from the free throw line in the first 9 games. I mean, he was one of the best in the Mountain West Conference last year at getting to the line. But since then, in the subsequent 15 games, he's had 65 attempts from the line. And for reasons as we just saw. And he drains all 3 of his free throws to tie it up 6-6. 16.5 to play in the first. Jessup on the outside. Throws left for Alston. Catches in the angle. Waits to drive. Has Bray Ivy on a switch. 6'9" against 6'2". Over to the right side, and now we've got a foul away from the basketball. That foul will come against Boise State's R.J. Williams. Williams' first personal, the 3rd team foul for the Broncos, and with 16:21 remaining in the first. Substitutions for the first time tonight. Robin George will check in for the Broncos, and Marcus Dickinson also will enter for Boise State. So here we go. It's the Spartans with Zach Chappelle also coming into the game for San Jose State. Chappelle to the left side. Back out for Bray Ivy. Around for Seneca Knight. Holding the ball on his right hip. Looking for options as he gives to Chappelle. Now to Bray Ivy. Back for Zach on a give and go. Good vision outside. It's Seneca Knight for a 3 ball on a catch and shoot, and it's short. Rebounded by the Broncos. Behind the back dribble from Marcus Dickinson in the open space. Out for Alston. Shuffles to his right. Cuts back to his left. Stops on the elbow. Retreats back outside on the perimeter. Gets it in tight, and a reach-in foul called against San Jose State. That'll go against Bray Ivy, his first personal and the 2nd team foul of the first half. With 15:52 remaining in the first, we've got a tie basketball game. It's 6-6 from Walt McPherson Court. We'll step aside. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. First time out of the first half, tied at 6. 15:52 remaining in the first. San Jose State just 1 of 6 from the field to begin this basketball game, including 1 of 4 from downtown. Meanwhile, Boise State 3 of 5 overall shooting. Both teams have committed a couple of turnovers in the early minutes of this basketball game. San Jose State with a 3 ball from Richard Washington and 3 free throws from Bray Ivy. That's it so far. Ticket Smarter is the smarter way to buy tickets to live sporting events. For concerts, theater events, visit Ticketsmarter.com and download the app today. Out of the break, it will be a Bronco basketball in their black uniforms, moving from right to left in this first half. Broncos will inbound with Justinian Jessup, baseline left underneath their own hoop. He's looking for options, a 2-handed feed to George, who jumps up to receive and immediately gives to Derek Alston. Alston down low into the paint. Right behind the defense is George. He'll turn around and score. The 6'11", 245-pound redshirt senior has his first points of the night. 8-6, Bronco lead. Now a 3 ball on the left side wing from Seneca Knight, and he buries. Seneca Knight is shooting 30% from distance this year, and he hits his first basket of the night to make it a 9-8 Spartan lead. Now it's Jessup for three, and an answer, and he hits. Justinian Jessup, the all-time leader in Mountain West Conference history in three-point baskets, starts here in this game with his first. 11-9, Boise State. Chappelle, bounce pass into Eduardo Lane, drives through the paint, tries to go up for a basket, stripped and knocked out of play. It'll be a Spartan ball. Well, at least I think. No, that is a Boise State basketball. So Eduardo Lane commits the turnover, and the Broncos will bring it up the floor. Marcus Dickinson to the right side, plays catch with Jessup. Back left for Alston. One-on-one with Zach Chappelle. Round a quick screen, rises for an elbow jumper, left that one short. Long rebound, tracked down by Jessup though. On the outside, Jessup looking to reset. Up to George and around for Dickinson. Now Alston, skip pass to Jessup, bounce feed to the baseline for Kejab. Skip pass outside, wide open, Alston for three, left it short, no good. And a chance for an offensive rebound and another opportunity for George. Now to Jessup, pump fake, gets a flyby, fires up a three ball, and another miss. Three real good chances for Boise State on that series. They do not get a basket though. Spartans come out to the right side, and now it's Chappelle delaying. He pops up for a three ball and rattles it through. Good screen from Eduardo Lane to allow Zach Chappelle a small window to shoot, and the Spartans retake the lead. It's 12-11. Now it is Kejab, mid-range jumper at the elbow right side. That wouldn't go. Rebound San Jose State. Seneca Knight in transition, hits the brakes, feeds the corner for Chappelle. Looks to drive, nowhere to go. Cut off by two black jerseys, and he'll reverse right for Bray Ivy. Ivy over to Seneca. Knight with a crossover dribble. Puts it on the deck. Rises from the free throw line. Left it short. Rebound Justinian Jessup. Pulls in the two-handed board. Quickly up ahead to Alston. Now into the corner. Kejab. Closed out nicely, though, defensively by the Spartans. In between the circles, it's Jessup. Down low to George. Spin move. Bumps off contact. Lays it in with a right hand. Now on him was Eduardo Lane, and the Spartans were yelling at him, don't foul, don't foul. That's a big body, though, to play less physically. Meanwhile, the Spartans take a three ball, and we've got a foul on the floor. Marcus Dickinson called for the personal foul with 13:24 remaining in the first. And a 1-point Boise State lead, 13-12. Hobbs will come in for Boise State. Richard Washington takes a seat. And Trey Smith will enter for the first time for the Spartans. Ivy, the inbound. Looking, gets it into Chappelle. Chappelle weaves it outside with a left-hand feed, heels on the logo at midcourt. It's Seneca Knight. Moves to his left, throws back right for Bray Ivy. Tries to drive in, had that ball deflected over to Trey Smith, who had a chance to gather it low on the floor, but it went 5-hole on him and out of play. A turnover for the Spartans. And that is their fourth of this first half. Spartans just 3 of 10 from the field, but all 3 of their makes from beyond the arc. Boise State 6 of 12 shooting overall here early on. Dickinson with the behind-the-back dribble. Now leaves it for Hobbs. Hobbs around a quick screen. Nowhere to go, so he puts up a runner that was no good, but another offensive rebound for the Broncos. Offensive rebounding big in this first half. Dickinson driving, stripped to the basketball by Chappelle. Loose ball came out to Ivy, but he is stripped by Dickinson, and now George will hang on for the Broncos. Jessup angling in, nowhere to go. Outside right, caught by Alston. Alston weaves into the paint, kicks it out to Jessup, open for a three ball, and he knocks it down. It is good, and a foul. And will they score that? It was a foul that was away from the ball. It comes against... Oh, there are multiple fouls in this play. So Marcus Dickinson is called for a personal foul. And Zach Chappelle is called for a foul. There's a lot of confusion right now on the floor from the officials. And all the while, Jessup's basket is good. So that would lead you to believe that there should only be one foul, and it should be against San Jose State if they're calling the basket good right now. They're going to go to the video monitor to review something. And I'm not sure if they're reviewing if there was intent on the foul or if the basket was a 3 or a 2. A lot could be going on right now, but I just can't think that there is a foul against Marcus Dickinson here. Otherwise, they would eliminate the basket. And maybe that was the confusion. The officials will have to huddle together on this one. Regardless, though, the offensive rebounding for the Broncos, they've had 3 in a very quick series for a team that is one of the worst in college basketball at offensive rebounding. They came in 300 out of 350. They only average 8 offensive boards per game, and they've already had, now as they update after that last series, 5. So, and I know 3 came on a quick series, and the last 2 came on that most recent series. But 5 offensive rebounds to a team that averages 8, and we're barely 7 minutes into the game, is significant. So both coaches, Leon Rice to our right, Jean Prilo in front of us, getting word as to what the call is here. And they're going to count the basket and give Boise State the ball. Well, they do eliminate that foul against Dickinson.
Score the 3-point goal for Justinian Jessup. Foul is called on number 4, Zach Chappelle.
And Zach Chappelle does get his first personal foul. So George gets the inbound. It's a big swing here. It makes it 16-12. George on the catch, outside box, throws right. Around for Hobbs, Jessup down low to Alston. Short corner, fires down low. George turns around, and a right-handed runner is good. Robin George has 6. He averages 4 per game this year. A big size difference there. Spartans don't have anybody to guard him right now, especially when Alston's on the floor. 18-12 Bronco lead. 7-0 run for Boise State, and it comes in a blink of an eye. Chappelle gliding to his left, casually jogging in, cut off by a couple of defenders. He'll reverse it outside for Seneca. Knight moves to his right with a right-hand dribble, shrugs off one defender, and rises for a hard angle floater, and it's good. Seneca Knight, that was not easy, and he got it to go. Off balance, fading away, falling along the baseline. 18-14 Broncos. Alston, another firm pass down to Hobbs. Hobbs reverses outside, open look at a 3 ball. It rattles off the front iron, popped into the air, and a chance for another offensive rebound, and it's grabbed by Dickinson, and he is fouled by Eduardo Lane. That'll go down as the 5th offensive rebound in this first half from the Broncos. Impressive stuff from Boise State. They're swarming right now on the glass. 18-14, Broncos with the lead. 11:31 remaining in the first half. We'll take a break from Walt McPherson Court. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. 18-14 here in San Jose. Broncos with the lead. 11:31 to play in the first half. Justin Allegri back with you. Second to last regular season home game for the men's basketball program. Spartans, after this game, will have a back-to-back road contest against Colorado State and Utah State, then come home for senior day on the 29th, the extra day, the leap day for senior day against UNLV. Then on to the conference tournament after that. Boise State up by 4 in this first half, 18-14. Broncos still at that 50% mark shooting from the field, 8 of 16. And they have the basketball coming out of the timeout after another offensive rebound. Puts them up to 5. Bounce pass in tight. George had it stolen away by Seneca Knight, but then a behind-the-back dribble that was too far away from Seneca's body. Alex Hobbs takes it away. And they'll still maintain here after another fresh shot clock. Alston throws left, caught by Dickinson, rips it back down to the left side, tries to get around the defensive Trey Smith, out for Alston against the defensive Agee. Good vision outside for a pass, but a offensive foul called as Omari Moore standing into the paint. Derek Alston bulls him over for the offensive foul. His first personal, the 5th team foul. And Boise State will make some substitutions here as Dennis will come back in, Kejab in, Dickinson and Alston take a seat. Richard Washington will re-enter for the Spartans as Zach Chappelle comes to the bench. 11 minutes flat on the clock here in the first half, 4-point Bronco lead. Spartans just 4 of 11 from the field. Richard Washington, right-hand dribble, moving over to his right, scoops it to the hands of the freshman, Omari Moore. Moore back for Trey Smith. Smith guarded closely on the outside. crossover from Seneca Knight. Drives to the free throw line, leaves his feet, throws it out to Trey Smith for a three ball. May have had that a couple of fingertips on that one to block it. Left it short, and it's taken in by Boise State. The Broncos hit the brakes with key jab. Now down low to George. Stripped by Trey Smith underneath. Knocked off the leg of George out of play. Good defense from Trey to eliminate what was sure to be an easy basket for George down low. Still 18-14. 3 turnovers for the Broncos now in the last 2 minutes. And the Spartans, they know that their chances on the other side are few and far between from beyond the arc. And now we've got another foul against San Jose State. Offensive foul. Ralph Agee's first personal, which is the 5th team foul for the Spartans, and another Spartan turnover. Now they're 7th of the first half and 4 in the last 4 minutes. Boise State, 22nd in the country in three-point field goal percentage defense. Now they are very, very talented in guarding against the three. The Spartans take a lot of them and know that they're going to have to hit if they want a chance to win. Hobbs on a dribble drive right to the rim with a right-hand finish off glass. Alex Hobbs' first basket of the game makes it 20-14, the largest lead of the game for the Broncos at 6 right now. Here is Richard Washington waiting to drive. Agee setting a screen, splitting a couple of defenders, fakes the pass, now lobs up a little runner that's good. Such great touch from Richard Washington after the ball fake. And Washington's teardrop is in. He's got 5 in the first half. Jessup surveying, head on a swivel, dribbles once to the right, now off the dribble. Gives it back to key jab in between the circles. Key jab to Williams, bounces into Richard Washington, knocks him over, and another offensive foul. R.J. Williams calling for the personal there. And it's getting to be the sense that you feel that the paint is going to be hard to get into if players are willing to sacrifice body. Sometimes that particular play is not called. And Richard Washington, I think, knowing that earlier in the half that was called, tried to take advantage of it, and he did. Savvy move from Rich. Now it's Agee on the perimeter. Right side for Omari Moore. Pops off a screen, thought about driving, instead shovels back for Seneca. 10 seconds to shoot. Tried to behind the back dribble, and he is fouled by key jab. Key jab reached in, got the wrist, calling for the personal foul. That puts the Spartans into the bonus with 9 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in this first. 4-point Bronco lead. Spartans have only briefly held a lead in this game. And it was by 1 point a couple of times in the first half. It is now Seneca Knight for a 1-and-1. His first free throw is down. Seneca, nearly a third of his total point production this year have come from the free throw line. And that's one element to his game that over the course of the offseason he really did a good job improving upon. And it's translated to more opportunities, especially on driving chances for Seneca. So he gets to the line here, although it wasn't on a drive, but he hits both of them and he makes it a 2-point game. Key jab down low for Jessup. Long skip pass over to the right side. Catch and shoot, 3-ball, and a pure shot knockdown from Ray J. Dennis. And the ball movement just superb from Boise State. They drop back in their defense now as holding is Omari Moore. Gets it back in the corner, waits. Now a baseball-style pass over to Richard Washington. Catch and shoot 3, too strong. Swept out by Boise State, knocked out of play off of Agee's hand. It'll be a Bronco basketball. 8:27 to play in the first. Bray Ivy subbing back in. He'll take the place of Trey Smith. 23-18. Alston comes back in, and for the first time in this game, Max Rice, the redshirt freshman and the son of head coach Leon Rice, enters for the Broncos. Moving right to left in their black jerseys. George outside. Double teamed for a brief moment. Dribbles back for Rice. Rice drives in. Out for Alston now. Well beyond the arc. Fires down low for George. Bounces off of Agee. Right to the rim with a right hand. Falls over to the hardwood as he finishes. 8 points in this first half have come from Robin George. Now it's Seneca Knight rising for a contested look at a 3 offline to the left. Rebound Derek Alston. Casually takes it across midcourt. Looks to his left. Now gives for Dennis. Dennis back in between the circles. Key jab. No look feed to Rice. Rice one-on-one with Moore guarding against him. Dennis down low. Into the short elbow for a key jab jumper that is good. Well, if the Broncos start to hit those mid-range, it's going to be a real tough night. Here's Bray Ivy trying to find some separation. Pump fakes, never got a flyby. Sticking right with him was Dennis. Now around to the left side wing for Washington. Washington round a screen from the big man, Ralph Agee. Agee set the screen, allowed for an 18-foot jumper that would not go. Key jab, trailing Dennis. Now Rice fakes left, fires up a three. Just missed it off to the left side. Good look. Here's a long rebound tracked down by the speedy Moore. In tight to Seneca Knight behind the defense, and he'll lay it in with a right hand. Seneca has 9 first-half points, and it's a 7-point lead for the Broncos, who have hit 4 of their last 5 shots from the field. 6:50 to go in the first. George outside to Rice. Rice around his screen. Spins a bounce feed to Dennis. Dennis on the left side angle. Up top for Rice again. Looking. In tight to the free throw line for key jab. 1 foot in the lane. Backs away from the defense of Ivy. Fakes the jumper. Tries to drive. Ivy sticks with him. He falls to the floor. Ball loose on the hardwood. Diving on top of it several players. And with 3 seconds to shoot, it will be a held ball situation. And it'll be a Boise State basketball, I believe. And with that, we'll send it to a commercial break here from Walt McPherson Court. 27-20, Boise State on top, 6:32 remaining in the first half. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. Back inside Provident Credit Union Event Center here tonight, Boise State leading 27-20. And San Jose State still looking for consistent offense. They've committed 7 turnovers in the first half. Boise State has converted on 9 points off those turnovers. Spartans have forced a lot of turnovers too, 8 of them to be exact, but just 2 points off the turnover from San Jose State. Points in the paint, a big favorite for Boise State. We talked about that on our pregame show with the Spartans going majority of the game 4-guard lineup. 16 points in the paint of the 27 from the Broncos compared to just 4 points in the paint for the Spartans. It's a 27-20 Bronco lead. Coming out of the timeout, it will be a San Jose State basketball. They did talk about that during the break and ruled that it was a held ball and thus a San Jose State basketball. Omari Moore curls around the perimeter to the left side, gives to Bray Ivy. Now for Chappelle. Angles back to his left and a dribble handoff for Richard Washington. Up top, Alston guarding against him. Washington feeds down low, looking for Christian Anigwe on the lob underneath. Came off of 2 players' fingertips, and now a discussion as to who touched it last. And they're going to say Derek Alston touched it last, which means it's a Spartan ball. And before an inbound, a whistle here. And they reset the shot clock to 20 seconds. And because it is still a ball for San Jose State, it goes back to 8. It was not a shot that hit the rim. So 8 seconds to shoot. Bray Ivy on the inbound. Nearly had it stolen, gets it back 2 seconds to shoot. Ivy tries to rise and thought he got fouled. It was knocked over. And no foul called. No shot attempted. So the shot clock goes off, and it is a violation for San Jose State and a turnover, their 8th. 27-20. 5:58 to play in the first. Alston on the angle. Gets a screen from George. Tries to cross over his dribble. Lost control of the basketball, and it's knocked out of play off of Christian Anigwe. Boise State ball. And they're trying to sort things out as to who's going to take this inbound pass here. Key jab in the far corner, right along the baseline. We'll get it into Dennis. Dennis backs up against the defense of Bray Ivy. Now looks up top, moves to his left, drives on the lane. Now key jab for a 3 ball, left it short. Box out rebound from Christian Anigwe. That's what the Spartans need. They need their bigs to rebound and have a presence down low. Here's a lob underneath on the backdoor cut. Omari Moore lays it in reverse style. Well done and a good adjustment while airborne from Omari Moore. It's 27-22 Broncos. Alston looks and gives underneath to a driving Dennis. Dennis goes up and is fouled. That is the 6th team foul and the 2nd personal to Bray Ivy.
6th team foul.
And it will mean free throws here for Dennis. Ray J. Dennis, a freshman out of Illinois,
Number 10, Ray J.
part of the young talent on this Boise State roster. Coach Leon Rice and his group always seem to find players that can make an immediate impact in their first or second season in Boise. You think back to Justinian Jessup, who burst onto the scene in his first year and has been tremendous ever since. You think back to a guy like Derek Alston, who was a walk-on and somehow was found by Leon Rice and his staff and has developed into a first-team candidate in the conference. And Ray J. Dennis, although he averages 4 points per game this year, has been a starter and is being groomed to be one of those players to take the Broncos over the next couple of years. We do have a brief timeout here as an issue with Bray Ivy has drawn the attention of the athletic trainer Zach Sherwood, who is doing his pit crew impersonation to tape up Bray's leg, it looks like. It's a fashion statement, also a field dressing. 5:15 to play in the first. Press now applied by the Broncos. 29-22 after the free throw makes from Ray J. Dennis. Up the timeline is Washington. Into the corner for Chappelle. Scoop down low, adjusting while underneath the rim. Bumping off of contact is Anigwe to score with a strong two-handed lay-in. No foul called. Spartan bench wanted that extra, but did not get it. Rice now to Hobbs. Underneath for George. He was harassed and it's stolen away by the Spartans. Out quickly ahead to Christian Anigwe. Spins to receive. Loses control of the basketball. Jessup tries to track it down on the near sideline. And it's out of play, and it will still be a Spartan ball. Spartans got a little hasty there. And a bit too fancy. Trying to get the open man, Christian Anigwe, out in transition. Will still be a Spartan ball. They have to feel fortunate about that. The 9th turnover of the game officially to the Broncos. 4:35 to play in the first. 29-24. Boise State lead. Now it is Omari Moore on the angle. Round a quick screen from Anigwe. Wanted the pick and roll. Here it is to Anigwe. Lays it in and he got fouled. The pick and roll and the finish to Christian Anigwe. And Anigwe has back-to-back possessions with a basket. This time he does finish with the contact. He'll go to the line for the and one, and he's made it a 3-point game. 29-26, 4:24 on the first half clock. Anigwe toes the stripe. Free throw, rattles home. He's got 5, and the Spartans have made it a 2-point game. After the Broncos were up by as many as 9 in this first half. George along the perimeter, weaving his way to the left. Hands for Alston. Alston backs up against Christian Anigwe's defense. Throws left for Jessup. Jessup driving quickly, stops on a dime, throws outside for Alston. Wide open 3 on the way, rims out and curls around, no good. Rebound Spartans. Here comes Chappelle attacking. Chappelle tries to get a shot up, high off glass. Rising to contest it there was Kejab. Now out to Alston. Pauses in a 1-on-3 situation, waits for the number. Jessup drives in, floats a pass outside to Hobbs, puts it on the deck, drives in with a left-handed lay-in. That was no good. George gets the rebound, waits to go up. He pump fakes for a moment, loses control of the ball, and it's taken by the Spartans. It's Moore to Washington. Short corner, he stops, and the Spartans will slow things down here with 20 seconds to shoot. They know that a basket can tie or give them a lead. It's Chappelle for a 3 and the lead. Too strong. And a high rebound deflected by Boise State. Hobbs now trailing his Kejab. Head fake, dribble drive, nowhere to go. Stops and throws it to the short corner for George. Looking over his left shoulder, he gives to Jessup. Rises for an 18-foot jump shot. Pure. Nice move from Jessup, and what a stroke from the senior. His second basket of the game makes it 31-27. Broncos with the advantage. 3 minutes and 1 second remaining in the first half. We'll pause again from Walt McPherson Court. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. Well, family owned and operated since 1960, Royal Coach Tours is the premier provider of luxury motor coach transportation for San Jose, the Silicon Valley, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Royal Coach Tours, proud partner of San Jose State Athletics. It has been a pretty evenly distributed scoring performance for both sides. 9 points from Seneca Knight to lead all scorers. 8 have come from Jessup and 8 also from George on the Boise State side. But you expect that Derek Alston will activate at some point in this game. Just when? Richard Washington bounces to the right corner for Moore. Now back to Rich. Face up 3 ball and a knockdown from the right side corner. They're going to call that a 2 right now and review it later. But as it stands, it's a 2-point basket that they will take a look at, and it makes it 31-29. Justinian Jessup reverses left. Catching is Kejab. Round a quick screen from Williams. Throws outside to Hobb. Catched and closed out by Chappelle. Now right side and a foul away from the ball. No, a 3-second violation called against Williams in the post. Never had the ball. Inexcusable mistake there from the Broncos. And another turnover, which is the 11th of the first half from Boise State. And that's what's keeping San Jose State in it right now. Now it's Richard Washington again. Gets a flyby, rises up for a 16-footer and rattles it home. So Richard Washington has 9 in the first half, and it's a tie game at 31 apiece. Jessup moves left for Alston. Bumps into Richard Washington. Alston to the right side. Accelerates down the right side of the lane. Forces a shot up. It was no good. Spartans get the rebound. Here comes Moore attacking 3-on-3. Splits a couple of defenders. Leaves it for the trailing Chappelle. He drives in. Loses control of the basketball. It rolls on the floor. And it's picked up by the Broncos. Out ahead quickly. It's Jessup open for a 3 ball. And yes, he will knock that down. The all-time leading scorer loves it when he's open like that. And Jessup with another basket. He's got 10 in the first half, and it's 34-31. Quick feed down low for Richard Washington. Knocks it down for a moment. Re-entry to the box on the left side. Backing down his defender is Eduardo Lane. Spins around. Right-handed little hook shot, or a baby hook, was up, but never went over the cylinder. And after it, a foul is called. Eduardo Lane called for the offensive foul. Second personal foul. And that is team foul number 7 for the Spartans. Well, the Spartans tied it up at 31, had a chance to take a lead. But the theme in this first half for both teams has been the turnovers. 11 for the Broncos, 10 for the Spartans. San Jose State, they averaged 13.8 per game. They've got 10 in the first half. Boise State averages 12.2. They have 11 in the first half. So some sloppy play, to say the least. Williams at the free throw line, 1-and-1, and he missed it. Rebound Seneca Knight. Knight will work it up the floor, sprinting down the right side. Refuses the handoff, draws the contact, but a foul, no, a travel is called against Seneca Knight. And Seneca just realizing it, can't believe it, with 1:06 remaining in the first. Every time the Spartans have an opportunity to tie or take a lead, it seems like a turnover is the result of the possession. Here's Alston on the outside for Justinian Jessup. Backs away, steps back, thought about the 3, pulls it down, gives it away, now drives for Jessup. Outside to Alston, up top for Kejab. No look pass down low to Williams. Gathers, gets a shot up, doesn't go down, but he is fouled. Perhaps some of the best ball movement of the game for Boise State on that particular possession. And it results in more free throw opportunities for the Broncos. Second personal foul from Ralph Agee. The Spartans with 3 turnovers in the last 90 seconds and a 3-point Bronco lead here in the first. And it's Williams again going to the free throw line. His first is knocked through.
Number 11,
Christian Anigwe will replace Ralph Agee. Now Williams again at the line. Second free throw gets the shooter's bounce, up and over and in. He gets both of them. Williams will come out and George will replace him. George for all that he's done this year, hasn't really been a guy that Boise State leans on in games. He averages 17 minutes a game, so nearly a half of the game he plays. But in this half, they've relied a lot on him for offense and his size advantage. He's back in now. Moore, left side bounce to Anigwe, knocks over his defender, and we've got an offensive foul, and that's what has been called throughout this first half. And it was a push-off and an arm bar, the call on Christian Anigwe, his first, the 9th team foul. Times this year, we've seen the flop call, and I think the players recognizing that they can get the charge called, and they're sticking in there and taking the contact. It's happened on both sides. 27 seconds to play, a 5-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock. 36-31, holding it midcourt, and just waiting for an opportunity is Dennis. No Boise State player moving just yet. 10 seconds to shoot. Now 9. Dennis to Kijab at the elbow. Back for Jessup. Jessup step back, contested 3 on the way, no good, offline left. Spartans have 4 seconds to shoot. Out quickly to Richard Washington. Pulls up for a 35-footer at the buzzer, no good. Left it short, and the Spartans will go into the locker room down by 5 at the midway point of play. 36-31, our halftime score here from Walt McPherson Court. Stand by, we'll have our halftime show coming to you in a few moments. It's brought to you by Ticket Smarter. It'll include all of the first half stats, a check of the out-of-town scores, and a look ahead to the second half. 36-31, Broncos with the lead here at halftime. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. All right, we're just about ready for the second half to begin here in San Jose. I've got a special guest with me. Mason has joined us, had full access to the Spartan locker room. He was all over the place today. Member of the Austin Everett Foundation. So he's on the headset right now, sitting courtside and enjoying his time. Hey, maybe Mason will bring some good mojo here. Get the Spartans back out ahead. We'll see. If he does, we're going to keep him here. 36-31, Broncos with the lead over San Jose State. And it's a Boise State basketball starting off the second half. Here is Dennis, bringing it up the floor to the right side for Williams. Now to Derek Alston, holding the ball with 2 hands. Looks to his left, holding it up top, waits to drive, doesn't. Throws out to Dennis again, lobs down low to Williams, catches underneath against Bray Ivy, goes up with a 2-handed lays and scores. R.J. Williams has 6 points and a big first basket of this second half, making it 38-31. Just 30 seconds in to this second half. Washington reversing left for Seneca Knight. Knight into the corner for Chappelle. Now lobs down low on the block left side for Anigwe. Outside to Seneca. Pump fake, gets the flyby, drives in, scoops it up, lays it in with a right hand. Nice move from Seneca Knight to get that jump from a defender and go in to score. Derek Alston trying to answer. Moves to his right. Now back to Dennis. Dennis, long skip pass to Kijab. Pump fakes along the angle, drives in, banks it down and under. He scores. Kijab casually did that against the defense of Zach Chappelle. Made it look easy. Now Bray Ivy out for Seneca Knight. Splits a couple of defenders, throws back on a pick and pop for Christian Anigwe to Chappelle. Down low on the pick and roll to Anigwe. Delays and scores. Christian Anigwe has 7, and boy, have they needed that. He'd been averaging just 3.5 points per game over the last 7 games, and tonight the Spartans get the production from the big man in his starting role. Alston off a screen, catch and shoot 3, got it. Boy, if he gets hot, it's not good for San Jose State. He's got 7 now. 43-35, Bronco lead. Seneca Knight in between the circles. To the man-to-man defense, Kijab against him. Waiting to switch, he moves to his left, cuts back to his right, got him to leave his feet, drives in again, scoops it up, does not score this time. And on the rebound, we've got a foul on the floor. It will go against Boise State, and R.J. Williams with the personal foul, which is his 3rd.
The foul is on 23, R.J. Williams.
And that's significant here. Williams, a rebounder and a scorer for the Broncos, and he'll have to take a seat. Leon Rice, the head coach, talking things over as he walks back to the bench. So Seneca Knight will get the inbound again. 15 seconds to shoot here. Spartans fumble the catch with Anigwe. He picks it up in the short corner, guarded by George. Long outlet pass to Ivy. Catches, left-handed drive, stops at the free throw line. Pulls back out for a deep two that's no good, and it's hauled in with a long left hand from Justinian Jessup. Jessup to the trailing key jab. Hoists up a three. Did not connect on it. Offline to the right side. Rebounded by the Spartans. Knight pauses on the angle. Face up three ball from Seneca, and he buries it right over the top of Jessup. The three from Seneca is good. He's got 14, and the Spartans make it a 43-38 game. 17 minutes and 15 seconds remain here in this second half. Jessup now. Down low to George. All alone will lay it in easy. And that was too easy for George. He's got 10. And that was a miscommunication defensively from the Spartans down low. Richard Washington was in a mismatch, and he was on the opposite side. Now Washington smothered defensively. Flicks it over to the right side, caught by Seneca Knight. Seneca wanted the screen, refused it, then came back over to Washington. Crossover, step back for three, and a bury from Richard Washington. A dirty move from Rich. He's got 12, and it's 45-41. Richard Washington has been doing that over the last 3 weeks. Those type of shots. Alston now rising for a three, and he buries. Derek Alston answers. He's got 10, and he's heating up. 48-41. Now off to the right side. It's Seneca. Ripping it down, catching a double team is Ivy. Looks back across the grain to the right side for Seneca. Knight holds the ball above his head. Tries to dribble. Cut off, steps back, takes a deep three, and he knocks it through. It's raining triples right now from Walt McPherson Court. Seneca Knight has 17. And the Spartans are hot from distance, 3 of their last 3. 48-44. Touch pass to Key Jab. Free throw line jumper. Everything is falling. Key Jab knocks it through. Seneca Knight pull up in transition. Thought about the three. Crosses over. Spins at the elbow. Moves it back outside. Gets it back from Anigwe. Now open for a three. Seneca lets it go again. Soft iron miss. Rebound Boise State. So they're human. There was a miss. George down low. Catches. Goes up against Anigwe and forces his way to the rim to score. And George goes down in a heap, and he's hurting. May have tweaked a knee. He's holding his left knee and in some pain right now. Gosh, that's not a good sign for Boise State. Oh, looks like he's really in some agony. And George continues to hold his left knee. Oh, you hate to see that. And George, I think he was kind of contorted when he made that catch. And then when he went to turn, I don't know if he came down awkwardly or not. You hate to see that type of play, but hope everything's all right with Robin George. 52-44, some hot shooting to start this second half from both sides. Broncos 7 of 8 from the floor. Spartans 5 of 8 from the floor. San Jose State has hit 3 threes. Broncos have hit 2 threes. And it's 52-44 Boise State. Why pay a fee for your checking account? At CEFCU, there's no monthly fee, no minimum balance, and access to over 30,000 fee-free ATMs. Plus, show off your Spartan pride with the SJSU CEFCU Debit MasterCard. Go to CEFCU.com/better to get started today. So with 15:21 remaining in the second half, the Spartans with the basketball coming out of the timeout. And they will have it with Bray Ivy looking at a full court press here. Out to Richard Washington, leaves his feet, gets it up quickly to Seneca Knight, splits a couple of defenders, right to the rim, and finishes with a right-hand lay-in. Seneca Knight recognizing he had the opportunity to drive and just busted through a quick hole, and all of a sudden, Seneca Knight has 19 points overall. And for Seneca, 10 of them have come in the first 5 minutes of this second half. Jessup waiting, throwing right, where Dennis picks it up to the short corner for Alston. Mid-range game, no, and a foul on the rebound. It's against Ralph Agee. Tough foul. I mean, that was a clear rebound and an easy one for the Spartans, but Ralph away from the ball, trying to make sure that the space was there for the Spartans, commits the foul, his third. Tough one. First team foul for the Spartans in this second half. Jessup will inbound baseline right as the trigger man. He gets it into Hobbs, spins on a bounce to the short corner on the logo to Jessup. Back for Hobbs, dribbles into the paint, looks outside, and it's stolen away by the Spartans. Long transition pass, that is picked off by Dennis, and a poor decision there from the Spartans. Alston, meanwhile, weaves in, out to Jessup, fakes left, drives to the right, gets a pass away, and that's picked off by Zach Chappelle. Chappelle now leading a 3-on-2 Euro step in the lane. He goes up to shoot, and he's fouled. My, oh my. Went from everybody hitting every shot to everybody turning it over. Ray J. Dennis called for the personal foul, second personal, second team. This will be a shooting foul, which means free throws for Chappelle. He had 3 in the first half. His first free throw here just a bit short. 52-46. Now the second free throw. That one's good. So it is a 5-point game once again. 14:20 remaining in the second half. Jessup holding the ball at midcourt, lobs in between the circles. Now back out to a catch-and-shoot 3 from Jessup. Just offline left, curled out, no good. Rebound Washington. Washington barking out the play call as he brings it up the floor. Stutter step move down the left side of the lane. Rises, blocked by Jessup. Taken by the Broncos. Out to Dennis. Dennis across midcourt, looking for options. Dribbles with the left hand. Now to Jessup. Puts it on the deck. Drives in for a floater. Too strong with the miss. Washington the rebound again. Here's a spot where the Broncos are not hitting shots. The Spartans have to respond here. And it's Bray Ivy to try and do that. But the 3 is offline. Rebound to Williams. Now for Dennis. Pointing out for a screen. Dennis with a left-hand dribble. Out for Jessup, touch pass to Williams, out to the corner for Hobbs. Fakes left, drives right, stops at the free throw line. On a bounce to the right side post for Williams. Jumps into the lane, gets a shot up, and AG is called for a personal foul. And that means Eduardo Lane's going to be activated, and he came up. Coach Prelo said no. Now he's bringing in Anigwe. So AG will come out with 4 personal fouls. Oh, we got a technical foul against Ralph Agee. I don't know what for. And Ralph is saying, what did I do? And he's not getting an explanation. Is that an addition? If it is, that's his 5th and final.
Technical foul has also been called against 35 Ralph Agee.
It is 2. So that's 5 fouls. Wow. That'll force Anigwe to come, and Ralph is furious. It must have been something he said to earn the technical. And this could be a big moment in the game. Jessup at the line, who rarely misses. His first is good. And when I say rarely, it's Steph Curry rarely. He's 95% from the free throw line this year. But the 5th foul for AG is also the 3rd team foul for the Spartans. Jessup hit both of his free throws. Now it will be Williams to shoot his free throws after the foul initially was called. This could be a 4-point swing in the game, and the Spartans lose a player. Williams' free throw is good. So he's got 7, and it's 55-47 Broncos. Second free throw for Williams. He got that one too. It is a 4-point swing. Big moment in the second half right there. Makes it a 9-point Bronco lead. They have never led by more than 9. Ivy, cross midcourt to the right side for Seneca Knight. Dribble handoff to Washington. Long skip pass to Ivy. Feathered into the corner for Moore. Jabs with the right foot. Puts it on the deck. Outside it goes to Ivy. Ivy in between the circles. Now over to Richard Washington. Takes a deep 3 just offline. Long rebound pulled in by Anigwe. And we've got a foul against Boise State. The Spartan bench has to be careful here because that foul was against Boise State. The Spartan bench, though, responded as though it was against Anigwe, and the officials did not like that. And you can understand why. But it will be a foul against the Broncos, and it will be a Spartan basketball. Here is Trey Smith to inbound to Anigwe. Now to Smith. Back to the left side for Seneca Knight. Knight with a right-hand dribble. Jessup guarded against him. Jessup out to defend. Knight into the corner for Richard Washington, drives, weaves it outside for a Trey Smith 3-ball, too strong. Swept out though, offensive rebound, Spartans. Moore to Knight, Knight to his right. Stops, and will re-entry with a pass to the short corner for Anigwe. Jump step into the lane, throws it outside, stolen by Jessup. The turnover is the 14th of the game for San Jose State. And now it's Jessup down low. He turns it over. Omari Moore steals it away. Up ahead to Richard Washington. Tiptoes the line as he tracks the ball down. Here's a shot from three. No good from Omari Moore. Another offensive board from Anigwe. Moore puts it on the floor. Drives in. Rejected at the apex by Williams. Loose ball comes in down low, and a foul is called against the Broncos.
Foul is on 21, Derek Alston.
Alston called for the personal foul, his second personal. And the fourth team foul for Boise State. Anigwe to the free throw line. Spartans have to salvage points off of this possession somehow. And Anigwe calmly puts up the first free throw. He missed it. Anigwe this year has been a 56% free throw shooter. When the Spartans have their bigs get to the free throw line, it hasn't been strong at all. Between Eduardo Lane and Christian Anigwe and Ralph Agee, the true bigs left on the team, the best they can muster between the three of them is a 63% free throw percentage. The second is also a miss. And the Spartans are on a scoring drought now of 2 minutes plus. Alston on the angle. Looks underneath, and it is Williams going up. Shot off the glass, no good. Second effort was also no good for the Broncos. And the Spartans trying to run it down was Omari Moore, and he gets to it out of play. It will be a Bronco basketball. A timeout on the floor first. 11:52 remaining in the second half. Boise State trying to make it a double-digit lead for the first time tonight, 56-47 Broncos. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. Welcome back to Walt McPherson Court. Justin Allegri with you, courtside. Tonight, 56-47 Broncos ahead over San Jose State. Boise State trying to make it a double-digit lead for the first time tonight, coming out of this timeout. Well, do you own or rent your home? Well, sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. And it's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you can save. Geico.com, easy. 11:52 remaining in our second half here in San Jose. The Broncos with their largest margin of a lead right now. And San Jose State scuffling. No points from the Spartans in the last 2.5 minutes, although the Broncos, they have not scored from the field in 3.5 minutes. The Spartans have not been able to take advantage of it, though. That's the difference. Here is an entry pass to Kejab. Kejab at the elbow, moves with the right foot, steps inside the free throw line, gets the shot off, but it was no good. Jessup the rebound, Jessup the floater, that's no good. And the rebound to the Spartans. And the Broncos, they're 0 of their last 7 from the field. Richard Washington looking to respond here. Knight down low to Eduardo Lane. He is fouled by Williams. And Williams' 4th personal foul.
The foul is on 23.
That is a non-shooting foul, and it is the 5th team foul for Boise State. And that'll bring in Robin George again. George, who went down what looked like a knee injury. Good to see him back on the floor, but he is taped up with the left knee. See how active he can be here. Spartans go right to him as he's guarding against Eduardo Lane. Now the pass to Seneca Knight. Left-hand dribble, runs into George. Comes back outside left. Looking down low. Into the post for Eduardo Lane. Out to Knight. Knight puts it on the deck. Drives in, draws contact. He got fouled. He'll go to the line. A pushing foul called.
The foul is on 24. Abu Kejab.
Kejab, the guilty party.
6th team foul.
Still a 9-point game, and it has been this score for a while here.
2 shots.
This half started off with a flurry of baskets from both sides, but has significantly calmed down. Free throw no good from Seneca on the first effort. Seneca had 10 points of his game-high 19 in the first 5 minutes of this half. The last 4 he has not scored, and he has changed that now with the free throw made. He's got 20, and now 8 of the last 11 games for Seneca Knight, he's had 20 or more points. Dennis in between the circles. It's Jessup. Now to George one-on-one with Eduardo Lane. He's inside the paint. He's got to get out. He throws to Jessup on a give and go, and it's back to Jessup to score. 14 from Justinian Jessup. He's been great in conference play this year, and it is a double-digit lead for the first time tonight. 10 points. Washington, jump step in the lane, floater up, no good. Swatting at the rebound, the Spartans get it back from Eduardo. Lane around the perimeter to Knight. Knight crosses over, steps into a 3 ball, and it's a whiff. But it's right into the hands of Washington. Washington just outside the post, gets it into Seneca Knight, lays it in, and he got fouled. Seneca Knight on the back door. Good vision from Richard Washington to get to him, and Seneca will go to the line for his and one opportunity coming up.
His
Third personal foul and the 7th team foul. The third goes to Abu Kijab. Seneca to make it a 7-point game. And he does. He has 23. For a player that averages 16 and he averages 19 points in conference play, 23, good number. Now down low, Kijab. Fades the jumper from the free throw line, and he got it through. Kijab has 6 of his 8 points in the second half, and it's a 9-point game again. Spartans still just 1 of their last 9 from the field. Richard Washington accelerating buyout defender right to the rim, cannot finish. The backboard was swatted and no call. Well, I thought his hand hit the backboard for sure. It was shaking. Kijab, meanwhile, pulls up. Little jumper is good. That may have been a missed call there. 62-51, 11-point lead for the Broncos. Knight pauses, moves back to his right. There's Trey Smith to pick up the dribble. Now for Moore, guarded by Hobbs. Moore to Washington. Moves off of the defense of Alston, lobs back for Seneca, 10 seconds to shoot. Knight dribbling across his body, throws into the corner for a Washington 3. On the way, no. And it's a rebound from Anigwe. He goes skyward and is fouled while in the air. And Anigwe will go to the line. George's second personal foul. And Anigwe readies himself for free throws. Free throw is good. That's a big one, too, on the front end of the 1-and-1. 9:18 to play, 10-point Bronco lead. It's been consistent for Boise State throughout this second half that they hold a couple of possession lead. Second free throw, nearly an air ball, and it misses. And taken over by Boise State. 62-52. Hobbs angles in, throws outside for George. Now over to Alston. Alston crossing over. What a pass down low on a bounce to George, but he fumbled the catch. It goes out of play, and it's a Spartan ball. That's the 15th turnover for the Broncos in this one. The Spartans just 1 of their last 11. Ouch. 8:51 remaining. Zach Chappelle driving in. Gets to the rim. Got a shot up, but it was no good. George the board. Now to Dennis. Looking up the court. Moves laterally from left to right in the black uniform. Dennis still holding on to the ball. Out it goes to Hobbs. Hobbs catches and drives. Goes up against Smith and is fouled. With 8:32 to play.
The foul is on 44, Trey Smith. His first, 4th team foul.
That's the 4th team foul for the Spartans. First to Trey Smith. The Spartans have only hit 6 threes on 24 attempts in this one. The numbers have been not pretty for the Spartans from beyond the arc this season, especially here in the last 2 weeks. It's Hobbs at the free throw line. First was good. Second was good. So it's 64-52. Spartans one of their last 12 from the field. This is a big drought here. Spartans try the pick and roll. It's Anigwe going up, and he is fouled.
The foul is on 10, Ray J. Dennis.
Ray J. Dennis called for the personal foul, his third, and the 9th team foul for the Broncos. And again, it's Christian Anigwe to the free throw line.
Number 11, Christian Anigwe. 2 shots.
Anigwe, who has 8 points in this game, one of his better performances this year, especially of late. His free throw is good. He was only averaging 3.5 points per game over his last 7. But tonight has 9 and can get to double figures and make it a 10-point game with another free throw here. His second, no good. Jessup the board. And the rebounding in favor of Boise State, a total of 30-24. The Broncos have 8 offensive rebounds. Spartans with 10. Spartans get another turnover, though, on a wild pass to Richard Washington. Picks it up behind the back dish, back to Rich from Chappelle. Chappelle gets it back, fakes to his left, reverses left side. Trey Smith, NBA range 3, no. Offline left. Rebound, Broncos. And that was not a quality look. Now on the outside, Jessup. Jessup gliding over to his left. Throws back for George. George sets his screen. Jessup steps inside the perimeter. Puts up the mid-range. No good. Trying to get to the rebound. Seneca Knight running toward the Bronco bench. Cannot pull it in before he goes out of play. It will be a Bronco basketball when we come back to Walt McPherson Court. 64-53. Broncos with the lead. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. 64-53, Boise State leading, 7:31 to play here in the second half from Walt McPherson Court. Justin Allegri with you. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. You can chime in tonight on Twitter. Let us know where you're listening from on this Wednesday evening in Mountain West Conference play. San Jose State trailing 64-53. Been playing come from behind the entire second half and has only held a brief lead twice early in the basketball game. Boise State is controlled throughout. Spartans one of the last 13 from the field, and they're 6 of 25 from beyond the arc. Out of the timeout, it's Abu Kijab to inbound. Boise State in their black uniforms with the blue and orange trim down the side. Dennis catches on the inbound. Waits. Dribbles left. Up top it comes now for Hobbs. Bounce on a backdoor feed, and what a pass and finish from Justinian Jessup. 66-53. Well-designed play. Richard Washington moves to the elbow. Throws out to Seneca Knight. Quick bump screen set by Anigwe, and a pass that is deflected and stolen by the Broncos. Quickly out ahead for Williams, tried to catch and threw it over his head. Out of play, turnover Broncos. Both teams more than their average for turnovers in a game. 17 for Boise State, 15 for the Spartans. The points off of the turnover. Not that much when you consider the amount of turnovers that have been. 14 points off the turnover for Broncos, 8 points off the turnover for San Jose State. So Spartans have been able to convert off the many miscues from the Broncos. Ivy dribbles in, angles outside across his body, a pass to Richard Washington. Pauses, spins to the free throw line, out to Ivy. Open 3 ball from Bray, yes! Bray Ivy with a triple. He has 6, and it's a 10-point game again. Spartans have been known to mount comebacks late in games. Can they do it again here tonight? Dennis to Williams, playing with 4 personal fouls. Williams a right-hand dribble. Bray Ivy reaching over to try and strip the ball, and he is called for the foul. His third personal.
15 foul.
The other parts of this game that you look at and say, what? 9 offensive rebounds for the Broncos, but just 2 second chance points. 10 offensive rebounds for the Spartans, and just 7 offensive second chance points. 66-56. 6 minutes remain. The entry pass to Kejab. Kejab goes up. Before he did, he was fouled by Bray Ivy, and Bray's quickly up to 4 personal fouls.
His fourth, 16th foul.
So Bray staying in right now. Omari Moore getting ready to check in. He'll come in and sub in for Bray Ivy.
Omari Moore returns to the Spartan lineup for Bray Ivy.
Jessup waiting. Jessup still looking. Gets it into Hobbs. Hobbs with a left-hand drive to the free throw line. Weaves it out. Catching and driving was Kejab. Now to Jessup. Throws back to Kejab. Kejab triple. No. Offensive rebound. Williams goes right back to work under the rim and will score on a reverse. R.J. Williams with 10 points. And it's a 12-point Bronco lead. Spartans with Moore on the outside to Seneca Knight now. Knight with a right-hand dribble. Rises for the elbow jumper. Knight can't get it to go. Long rebound run down by Hobbs. And Hobbs will flick a two-handed chest pass up for Jessup. Crosses over to his left. Looks back right for Dennis. Touch pass down low. Williams goes up and is fouled. On a baseline drive with 5:15 to play. 68-56. Broncos ahead.
17th foul.
Boise State trying to secure their 5th 10-win conference season in the last 6 years if they were able to get a win tonight. And it's significant because only Fresno State and San Diego State have done that. 10 wins in a conference season 5 times during that same span. Nevada can still join them in that number. And I think they did get the win this week, which put them to 10. So you can put that into that category too. Boise State trying to do that though here. Free throw is a miss after the first one was a make from Williams. He has 11 now. Spartans will get it across to Washington, now to Chappelle. Pump fakes, drives along the baseline, bounces across outside for a 3 from Knight. No, and it's rebounded by Hobbs. Hobbs through a couple of defenders at midcourt. Trailing is Jessup. Catches, throws right for Kejab. Kejab will just give a no-look lob down low to the block. Outside, backing down his defender is Williams against Chappelle. Goes up in a held ball situation. Chappelle, a nice job to secure the basketball. And it is a turnover for the Broncos, their 18th of the game. And that'll bring us to a timeout as head coach Leon Rice calls for that timeout. And we'll step aside as well. 69-56. Broncos with the lead. 4:43 to play in regulation here in San Jose. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. They've had a couple of big plays in this game. Broncos do lead 69-56. One of those plays will be the move of the game, brought to you by S&M Moving System, preferred moving partner of San Jose State Spartan Athletics. You'll have to find out, though, by tuning into the postgame show here tonight from Walt McPherson Court. We'll give you the highlights from this game and get you that S&M move of the game. Also get you the SFQ player of the game as well. Leader in the clubhouse right now is Seneca Knight with his 23 points. But it is 5 players in double figures for Boise State right now. And that is something that they did last year on this court against San Jose State. 69-56, Broncos with the lead. Spartans have been trying to claw their way back into this one all second half. 4.5 to play here. It's the Spartans with the basketball. It is Omari Moore around a screen. Throws right for Chappelle. Jabs, crosses over between the leg dribble, steps into a 3 ball, and he missed it. No good. Offensive rebound, though, Anigwe. Looks outside again. It's Chappelle driving in, and he adjusts while midair and scores with a right-hand lay-in. So Zach Chappelle makes it an 11-point game. Still need to go, though, if you're San Jose State. Williams to Kejab on a backdoor, and what a basket there from the Broncos. Seneca Knight delaying into the corner. Chappelle catches and is closed out by Dennis's defense. Now Chappelle takes a deep and contested too. Couldn't get it to go. 71-58. 3:40 to play here in the second. Jessup catches, holds the ball above his head, throws back left for Hobbs, around the perimeter for Dennis, now into the corner for Kejab, down low for Williams, scores. That is again a great sequence of ball movement from the Broncos to develop an easy and open shot. 73-58. 3:20 remaining in the second half. Moore into the corner for Seneca Knight. Knight with a left-hand dribble. Knight stripped to the basketball. The Boise State Broncos steal it away, and a foul. No, a travel. Wow. Kejab got that ball, and he didn't have much time to do anything with it. Then he was called for the travel, which is a turnover followed by a turnover, followed by a timeout. 19 turnovers for the Broncos, 16 for the Spartans. That's been one big story in this game. But the main story is that the Broncos lead 73-58, and that means another timeout on the floor here from Provident Credit Union Event Center. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College. Boise State starting to extend their lead, 73-58. They've hit 3 of their last 3 from the field. Spartans, 7 of 28 shooting from distance, including in this second half, 4 makes out of 15 shots. The Broncos, though, in this half have shot 61% from the field. Yikes.
At the break, 21, Derek Alston returns to the Broncos lineup.
Derek Alston will come back in, potentially act as the closer now in this game. Chappelle will receive the inbound after the turnover before the timeout. Chappelle into the paint. Outside it goes to Richard Washington. Holds the ball above his head, and a personal foul called against Justinian Jessup with an arm bar against Richard Washington. Washington will go to the line. Washington just 3 points in this second half, 12 overall. And for Rich, the productivity has been much better here over the last 2 weeks. And even more than that, you can add that to the last month. Richard Washington, 10 or more points in 8 of his last 9 games. And he's hit at least 3 threes in his last 6 contests. In his last 6 games, he's averaging 18 points. First free throw is good. Second free throw too strong. The offensive rebound punched out, and it goes all the way over to the scorer's table and out of play. And it will be a Boise State ball. Kejab will be the inbounder right in front of our location. Gives to Dennis with 2:53 remaining here in regulation. Dennis and Jessup exchange. Now thrown over left for Kejab. Dribbles to the elbow, guarded by Knight. Back right for Dennis. Picks up his dribble, looks to get it away. Double team, throws it away to Richard Washington, who picks off the pass. Washington up ahead, checks over his shoulder, leaves it back for Moore. Moore to Chappelle, fakes left, crosses over his dribble between the legs, puts it on the deck, drives in, left-handed scoop to the hoop is no good. Williams the rebound. And those are the opportunities the Spartans have missed in this game, but have needed to score on if they want to try and make it close again. Now with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, it's Jessup open for 3, got it. And that is a dagger. 19 from Jessup, 76-59. Separation widening. Washington, step back, hand in his face 3, and he splashes it through. Richard Washington, maybe the toughest shot of the night, and he's got 16. 76-62. Spartans pressing a bit here with Chappelle guarding very closely against Dennis on a couple of crossovers, tried to lose him, but Chappelle, to his credit, stuck with him. 1 minute and 30 seconds remain. Nearly another turnover, recovered though by Kejab from Alston. Kejab gives it back to Jessup on the right. Jessup with 5 seconds to shoot. Jessup drives in, leaves it down low for Kejab. Easy laying down underneath. 14 for Kejab. And it's 78-62. 1 minute and 10 seconds now. Knight on the outside, backs up. Knight crosses over, drives in, scoops up the lay-in, does not fall. Williams the rebound. He'll set it out to Alston with 1 minute to play. Alston waiting it across the timeline, will back up against Moore and hold there. 20 seconds to shoot. 50 seconds in the game. Here is key jab underneath, floater is good. And with 46 seconds left, an 18-point game, the largest lead of the night. Chappelle to Anigwe. On the outside, steps back for three, no good. And the rebound to the Broncos with a 3-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock. Spartans saying no foul. The Broncos will likely have to put a shot up here or take a shot clock violation. Dennis will just dribble at midcourt with 15 seconds to shoot. 3-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock. And Dennis, I think, will just take the shot clock violation here. The Broncos are content with the 18-point lead. The Spartans will have 3 seconds, and the game will be over. Jessup and Washington shaking hands near midcourt. Jessup, what a game for him, and the closeout couple of shots tonight. Washington catches the inbound, and that will do it here in San Jose. 80-62, the final score. The Broncos with the win over San Jose State here tonight in San Jose. The Broncos do get their 10th Mountain West Conference win of the season. They're 10-6 now, and they are 18-10 overall this year. Meanwhile, the Spartans fall to 7-20, 3-12 in Mountain West Conference play. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Invite you to stay tuned for our post-game show. It's coming up in a few moments. We'll have an interview with San Jose State head coach Jean Prilo, checking our out-of-town scores and all the final stats in this game. Once again, 80-62, Broncos with the win over San Jose State. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield IMG College.